What's up, guys? In this video we are going to talk about why lonely people are fat and why fat people are lonely. Okay, so this is a video. Maybe I'll offend some people with this, not trying to offend anybody. This is just my own observation based on my life and the people that I've met in my life and all of the thousands of people that I've observed on the internet. And I just kind of put this together the other day in my mind. And I figured, since I put it together and the internet has blessed me with a soapbox to stand on and give my opinions that I make virtually no research on, I'm going to take advantage of that and I'm going to talk about it right now. Okay, so before I do that, subscribe to my channel, check out legendarysuitjammers.com. They make awesome shirts like this. I wish they sent me more colors, but I don't think they have any more colors. Okay, silk pajamas that look like suits, link in the description. Now, fat people are lonely, lonely people are fat. Okay, how did I come to this extremely scientific conclusion for my hypothesis? So I live in a share house right now, and a share house is basically dormitory style living where a lot of people live in one room. There's a limited amount of privacy, and the common area is generally where people socialize. So in other words, you don't really have so much privacy in your room. It's hard to do things in there that you would do in your room by yourself. And in Tokyo, in Japan at least, in my experience, in this share house at least, you don't even want to talk in there, okay? Like, you don't, like, talking is rude, you know? If I'm in there, it's so quiet, like so quiet, you hear somebody from the other side of the room, and it's a big room, you know? Like, it's so quiet, it's loud, if that makes sense. All right, so anyway, the point is that if I want to do anything other than go to sleep or stare at the ceiling, I need to go upstairs to the common room. Now, the common room is very nice because it allows me to socialize with other people. I'm a fan of socializing. And in this particular share house, I would say it's about 50% Japanese, 50%, not Japanese. So my typical evening, and I promise this has to do with the original point about why fat people are lonely and lonely people are fat. My typical night goes like this, or my typical day. Wake up in the morning, do a bunch of work, exercise, a couple hours after waking up, and so many people, man. I need a neighborhood I can wander around in. Wake up, work, exercise, come back, work some more, maybe wander around the streets of Tokyo, sometimes with my phone, sometimes just wander around and think deep thoughts. Come back, eat around 6 or 7, and that's it. Maybe do a little bit more work, but just kind of chill. Now, the other day, a few more people came to the share house because in these types of places, you have a lot of turnover. Okay, people will come for a month, come for 2 months, and so new people are coming in all the time. Now, in this month, or a few days ago, really, or the past week, we had a lot of people come who seemed to be very social. Or maybe I just got more comfortable in the place and I became more social. But the point is that I began having much longer conversations with certain people in the share house at the end of the night. Now, what I normally do at the end of the night, or what I had been doing for the past month since I've been here, is I would have my day, I would eat my meal at night, and then for the final few hours of the night, I would just basically snack, right? I would eat my big meal, I would wait an hour or 2 hours, I would go back out, I would buy a couple more snacks, I'd come back, eat them, and then maybe I would go out and I would do the same thing again. So what ended up happening when these new people came is that I stopped doing that because I was talking to them for so long that, you know how it is when you talk to people for a long time or when you're hanging out with friends. I've noticed that I end up eating less when I'm with friends. And those of you who maybe struggle with your weight, you've probably noticed this to be the case as well. At least for most people. For example, if I'm hanging out with a friend who's extremely overweight, I've noticed that friend rarely eats when I'm around. Or if they do eat, they'll eat pretty much the same amount of food that I do. And I can only assume that it's afterwards, after we actually hang out, that they eat, they binge on junk food or whatever it is. Because that's very similar to what my experience had been. specifically in this share house. I would eat my evening meal, and then I would continue working on the computer, working. And then when I wanted a break, I would go out, I would get some snacks, I would come home, effectively binge on the snacks, even though it was a small bit, let's call it a snack, right? I would snack on the snacks, and every snack that I ate would contribute to additional pounds that I would put on. Not that much, obviously, because I'm fit and I control my snacking, but every snack that I ate made me fatter on a molecular level, let's say, if we want to get really complicated with it. Okay, so what I realized is that the more social that I was, the less I would actually eat, because I just wouldn't have time to eat, okay? So then I started thinking, oh, what if this is a theory? What if the fact that the socializing in and of itself caused me to essentially fill the time where I would be eating with talking instead? So I started to think of other experiences that I might have had that would kind of line up with this and give this theory a little bit more weight. So I thought of one experience in particular that happened not too long ago. When I was living in Thailand, okay, part of the time when I was living there this year, I was in Chiang Mai. Okay, I might have made some videos when I was in Chiang Mai, but when I was living in Chiang Mai, it was kind of a lonely experience. Okay, let's just call it what it is. I had an apartment, all right? It's very cheap. Chiang Mai is a very cheap city, but my day would be like this. Wake up in the morning, go to work, do all my work for the day, go work out, come back, eat, and then snack periodically throughout the night. So now that I think about it, it was pretty similar to the life that I live now, except when I was doing my work, I would do it in my apartment by myself, as opposed to in a living room with anywhere from 5 to 15 other people in it. So I was much less social, and I had much fewer opportunities to engage with people and to get into these sometimes unwanted conversations with people for a long time. Because when you live in a share house or a hostel and you work online and you're trying to get some work done or you're trying to write an article, sometimes, and again, if anybody who's ever been in this situation with me is watching this, I'm not saying that I didn't want to talk to you, but I kind of didn't want to talk to you sometimes and would have rather just focused on my work. But I'm not a rude guy, despite what you might think, and I wanted to be polite and talk to you, and you got to take the good with the bad, you know? That's just how it is. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to make is that I was completely in control of my own schedule when I was living alone. And I suppose on the surface, maybe this sounds like something good, to be completely in control of your own schedule. But I believe that it's good to not have control sometimes in certain areas of your life, because that's when you're exposed to unpredictable circumstances that a lot of the time actually lead to something good. I can think of, I've forgotten how many friends I've made through the years just from being in rooms where random people were coming in. I've literally forgotten. I've made so many friends and forgotten who they are over the past couple of years that it's probably more friends than you've made in your entire life. Okay, I'm not saying that to brag. I just want to illustrate a point that it's a very satisfying lifestyle. Now, you'd think that living by yourself and having your own apartment and being able to do whatever you want, whenever you want, that's preferable. But in my experience, it wasn't. Now, what does this have to do with fat people being lonely and lonely people being fat? Now, it just so happens that when I was living in Chiang Mai, I was freaking jacked. Like, I was in really good shape. But, there was a really nice gym that I would go to, and I would also go on hour-long runs, sometimes 3-4 times a week, and then go to the gym and work out. Okay. However, at one point in my Chiang Mai living experience, I had a friend come visit me, and this friend, whatever, I don't want to say anything bad about this person, but some friends require more attention than others. Some are more chill, okay? This particular friend fell into the first category, and I enjoyed hanging out with this person. I'm not saying that I didn't, but this particular friend, it was not... You have to engage more with some people when you're hanging out with them one-on-one, okay? Now, because I had to engage with this person more when I was hanging out with them, I was less likely to experience the boredom that always comes before going out and snacking on something. Because if you think about it, what really is the desire to snack? It's you feeling bored and you wanting to experience some emotion or some feeling and going out and buying some food that will automatically make you feel something good or something positive without you actually having to do any work. Okay? So, long story short, this friend came to visit me. I stopped eating my 2 or 3 snacks throughout the night. I would eat my evening meal. Sometimes I would eat with her. And obviously when you eat with somebody, I'm less likely to, gorge myself on massive amounts of food, or if I did, it would be like a one-time thing, and I wouldn't eat 4 meals in the span of 1 meal, because when there's people around, you're just less likely to do it. It's kind of gross, right? Okay, so anyway, the point is that when I had somebody around during the time where I would normally binge, I would end up talking to them for a couple of hours and hanging out with them. And with this particular friend, I was also walking a lot. So what does this have to do with my original theory? Basically, if you're lonely, then you're going to snack, okay? It's very simple. If you're lonely, then it's more likely that you're going to want to experience some kind of positive emotion. And the easiest way to experience a positive emotion, if it's not taking a drug, hitting the bong or something, or watching porn or something like that, it's gonna be food. Okay, now it just so happens that a lot of that stuff happens to go together, at least for guys. You'll watch porn, you'll jerk off, and then you'll maybe hit the bong, and then you'll eat some food. Okay, it's this like awful cycle of self, it's the world we live in, right? These things are available, they're cheap, and some people just succumb to them because they don't have a reason not to. Now I'll go over this more in the next video that I make, but the point is that if you're lonely, you're more likely to be fat. So if you want to not be fat, you just have to cure your loneliness, okay? This is the whole point of this video that I really should have gotten to before 12 minutes and 12 seconds, okay? Now, again, correlation does not equal causation, but in some situations, it kind of does, If you change part of the equation, you'll change the result, all right, is what I'm trying to say. So if you want to solve your fatness problem, solve your loneliness problem, does the reverse also work? If you become thinner, will you automatically be more social? No, I don't think so. Case in point, you can point to all of the people who are very fit, but are socially autistic and weird and have really bad social skills. If you want to know where to find those people, I can tell you. Go to 4chan.org/fit. I won't put a link in the description, but there's plenty of those people over there. Okay, so anyway, that is my theory. If you want to become either more fit, you have to become more social, which is the point. All right, so that's my video. What do you think about my theory? Do you know anybody, or maybe you yourself, have changed your appearance because you have put yourself in a situation where you would be around more people? If that is the case, let me know in a comment, or if you maybe know somebody like that who fits that description, let me know in a comment. Tell me a story. Am I right? Am I wrong? Hit me in the comment section. Check out legendarysuitjammers.com. Peace.